Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Raquelle Lynnette. If this is your first time ever seeing my face, welcome in. To everyone else, welcome back, you guys. So as you can see by the title of today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the brand new release Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. Okay, this was just released. I would have gotten my hands on it quicker, but I thought that it was only available online. And I checked my Sephora app and it just said online only, but I think that was because maybe it got released early online. However, it is available right in store. So I went in and I tested out 3 shades and then I narrowed it down to 2 to see which one would work best. Typically, I'm a neutral undertone, but the shade that fit me was a cool undertone. And so the shade that I got is 14 Cool. Yeah, so we're going to dive in with our first impressions and wear test, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty. You guys, you're more than welcome to continue on watching if you want to see my take on the foundation and how well it performed.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side.
So this foundation it's called Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. It says for your best healthy looking skin every day. It's said to keep the skin radiant up to 285%. So the key notes in this is that it's a medium coverage, light as air foundation infused with hydrating hyaluronic acid and brightening rose complex. Skin looks more beautiful instantly and over time for a healthy looking glow and a brighter, smoother looking complexion. Takeaways from this are undetectable coverage, improves the look of skin each year, clinically proven results to boost hydration up to 166%, sounds good. Skin looks plumper and smoother, and skin tones look more even. It is said to minimize the appearance of pores, reduce the appearance of pigmentation and dark spots, and said to instantly make your skin appear brighter. And you know, she'd been working on this for a long time. It says that even the people who tested this out, she tested this over 4 weeks, so that's awesome. She was also said to put 2 years into this foundation as well. Really exciting release. Charlotte Tilbury's foundation formula, the Airbrush Flawless, literally emptied 2 bottles of those. One of my favorite most mattifying foundations, which is why I was excited to try something more medium coverage from her. So this is what the foundation looks like outside of the box. It's a squeeze tube with a pump applicator at the top, which isn't necessarily a preference of mine. I do prefer the glass bottle. It just gives the luxury feel. I'm not necessarily against this packaging either, because you can just open it right up if you need to get every single ounce. And I mean, that's a plus right there, because I literally could not get my I couldn't get my Flawless filter top off and I wanted to get every single bit. So I mean, there is pros to that. This is supposed to be able to wear for 16 hours. I really do like that it's infused with hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is really one of the key components that got my skin to even out. So to use a foundation / skincare foundation hybrid that is infused with hyaluronic acid, I just am excited to use and see where we can go and see how it wears, and if this could be incorporated, because I have dry acne prone skin. So that's why I was drawn to this. Retails for $44. She is not cheap, but Charlotte is luxury. Sometimes you have to pay a little bit more to get something that is going to work for your skin type or do what you want it to do. This comes in 30 shades and yeah, customizable for everyone. I had to really go in store. I'm really excited that they brought it in store to Sephora, because I wasn't too sure what shade was going to fit me. As you guys saw, I really had to play around with it. Usually I can just look and know what color is going to work for me. I've been doing this for a while. I'm into makeup. I worked at Sephora, so I can kind of pretty much eye and know what color is going to work for me. But for this one, it was a little bit of a tussle. So I'm just happy that I got one that seemingly fit. So without further ado, those are all the specs and the takeaways and the pricing. You can get this right now in store at Sephora. Otherwise, you can go ahead, get it online at Sephora, apply your points. You can buy it online at charlottetilbury.com as well. You guys know if you buy directly from Charlotte Tilbury, you'll get some samples from her brand. Okay, so those are all the specs and takeaway and the pricing. So we're gonna go ahead, dive into this application and wear test. Next, since this is a hydrating skin-like skincare foundation. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my One Size Secure the Blur. This is a mattifying primer that really blurs and softens the skin to create a really seamless canvas. And I have larger pores, and I know that when I typically work with, you know, lighter coverage foundations, the texture on my skin tends to shine through. So to get like the best application possible with my skin type, I'm gonna go ahead and use a mattifying primer. If you have dry skin or anything like that, if you do have acne prone skin, perfect for acne prone skin, regardless if it's dry or oily, because it has just the right amount of mattifying power. I just let that dry down a little bit because, you know, we want the application to be seamless. I'm just gonna press a little bit of translucence powder into this pore area and my smile lines, and I'm not going to do it for this one, so we can get a feel of the staying power with how I usually wear my foundation and how it would be if you just used a primer without the translucence powder. For the brush today, I'm going to be using the Sephora foundation brush. This is a newer release brush. I really like this one. It's just a beautiful dome top, and it's going to apply the foundation beautifully. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with one pump. We're gonna see what we have to work with. Okay, so that was just a baby pump, and it took a lot of effort. I had to squeeze this while pressing down. When I was pressing down, nothing was coming out. So I pressed down, and this is what we have. So I'm actually going to just take another pump, and see, that's not even consistent with the first. It like captures air, and then it comes out in different spurts. So yeah, don't really like that. I had no problem with the glass containers. I actually prefer glass containers. It's just classier, has a little bit more weight, and it's just easy to apply. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and blend this in. So even though I pumped down 2 times with that, I feel like the 2 pumps just equaled 1 pump because it wasn't consistent. However, now that this is laying down, it definitely is emphasizing the texture on my face. It's just like as soon as I laid it down, my texture on my face is starting to be emphasized. I don't too much care for that. It's a nice finish, very natural, and I'm gonna go ahead and build it up so we can really know what we're working with. Okay, so that was the second one. As you see, I tried to get a straight, just consistent pump, but it's not coming out. Not my favorite. Oh, definitely not my favorite tube at all. It's kind of getting messy already. It's definitely giving glowy. It's a glowy finish. It's not just a natural skin-like finish. There is a glow to it for sure. It emphasizes the texture on my face a lot. But that's kind of what I was expecting. It's definitely on the lighter, medium coverage side. I don't think it's medium coverage at all because I can still see a lot of the dark spots and hyperpigmentation peeking through even as I built it up a second layer. So I would say this is really light medium coverage for sure. So that is one side built up. I'm gonna go ahead and build this up with a sponge, and I'm gonna use a microfiber beauty sponge, the Juno sponge, instead of a beauty blender. I feel like the beauty blender absorbs more product, and since this is like a hydrating, nourishing skin care kind of foundation, we're gonna use the Juno. I think I figured out how to use it, you guys. So you put it straight up and then like you squeeze and then you pump. Okay, so yeah, that was a little bit too much. I'm actually going to take this and build this up in this side of my forehead. I have a burn mark. Let's see how well that covers that. So I used that extra to try to cover up the burn mark. It's definitely peeking through. It's just like a little bit of coverage over it, but you can still see that. How it applies. There's one. Texture is definitely emphasized. Blends out beautifully though, I can't lie. It does blend out beautifully. Go ahead and build it up 2 layers to see if we can get it to more of a like a medium coverage. So here's the sponge side, here's the brush side. There's definitely more of a dewy radiance with the spun application, but it's still blended out beautifully. I still like it. Yeah, y'all, so this is what it looks like. It's a glowy foundation. It's definitely, I can feel the skincare in it. It's very hydrating. It doesn't feel super lightweight. I can tell that there's something on my face. It doesn't feel lightweight. It definitely does feel like there's something on. So it's definitely, you know, a foundation. It says it's supposed to make your skin look more even. Definitely makes your skin look more even. I can definitely feel like it's hydrating. It doesn't feel like it's dried down or cakey. One thing that worries me is, you know, after it gets set, sometimes these kind of foundations tend to separate and start to slip all over your face, because even though there's a powder on top of it, it's still so hydrating that it doesn't work well with a powder. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and do my concealer, and then we're gonna set our face. So the concealer laying on top does definitely look nice with it. We're giving a very radiant finish. It looks really nice so far. So I'm going to go ahead and set down the concealer with my Huda Beauty. This is the Blondie powder. This is a yellow based powder, but it just gives a filter-esque finish. I've gone through so many of these powders. My absolute hands down favorite setting powder for concealer. So now I'm going to set the face with my Fenty Beauty. This is my 385 Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. I'm going to take my Tati Beauty Blendiful and just dip into a little bit of that and press down, because I don't want to move the foundation gel. We just want to press down and set it. When powder is applied, it looks absolutely beautiful. The finish is beautiful. So I'm gonna lightly just dust away this powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and bronze my face. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I got the shade 3. I've actually got a bronzer that I'm actually supposed to use because I typically go darker. But since we're going to see and we want a very natural like finish, this is the bronzer that I use for like a really natural finish. Just a little bit, just to define our cheeks, right? And see, it just gives the beautiful shadow effect, not like a contour or anything. This is like the perfect bronzer, seriously. And I was gonna get the foundation, the new foundation, pressed powder foundation from Sephora, but they were out of my color today, so that's why I had to use the Fenty. But typically I like to use all the same products when I'm reviewing a foundation. I like to use the pressed powder products, so maybe I could get on Charlotte Tilbury's PR list and I could review all these bomb products. It's literally one of my favorite makeup brands. And I'm going to jump off camera really quick to do my eyes, finish the rest of my face, and then I'm going to come back here, check in with y'all before I start this wear test. Alright guys, so I laid down everything. I put some lashes on and some earrings. You know, I'm looking real cute or whatever. This is what we have going on 2 hours later. It's looking beautiful. It's beautiful, you guys. Like, it's looking really good. I can definitely see a little bit of a shininess starting to create in this area. I haven't gone anywhere. I've just been recording and doing some work at the computer, but as you can see, it is a very radiant. It has like a radiance to it, for sure. And as it dried down, after I set it, now it feels like there's nothing on my face. When it was drying down, I could feel it on my face, but after everything was set, it doesn't feel like there's anything like on my face. So it feels like it's a breathable, hydrating foundation. I'm liking the finish that it has. It's not super matte or cakey. It is just a beautiful, it's so pretty. It's really pretty. And honestly, I feel like it just works, okay? Like, let's look at this. There's no filter on my camera, so you guys are probably going to be seeing the texture and everything. But it is a beautiful finish, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so the side of the face where I set with the translucence powder, I'm not seeing as much creasing or oiliness. Of course, on this side, you can see it's a little bit more shine, and that's because this primer was not set with the translucence powder, so you're seeing a little bit more shine peek through. I'm loving the finish at this point, so it's been like 2.5 hours. So yeah, we're gonna come back some much more hours later, and then we're gonna check in and see how everything held up. I don't know if I should touch it up. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna actually do? I'm just gonna go ahead and whatever was left on this Power Puff, I'm just gonna press it over it. Okay, and that just takes the shine away. Oh, it just takes that shininess away. That looks really pretty, and it's not separating as I reset everything down, which is really impressive for me, because I feel like the hydrating foundations or the medium foundations always seem to slip after I put a powder on it. So the fact that I just touched it up and it's not slipping or separating that's a really good sign already. So I'm gonna hop back off camera, continue the wear test, and we will be back later. It is 11:20. Oh, and baby, we got some shine coming through. As we can see, it's mostly coming on the side that I didn't set with the translucent powder. But I mean, you can still see it a little bit there too. But of course, it's magnified on this side. Overall, look at that though. Like, let's just take away from this right here. Okay, look at this part of my face. It's still held up. I know it's late, but we're just gonna press back into that to take some of that shine away, because it's really intense. And it just revived it again all over, and I didn't even dip into more translucent powder. That was just pressing what was left on there. So all in all, first impressions and the wear test, I like again that all I had to do was press a little bit of translucent powder to take away some of the shine, and it didn't slip under anything, under any circumstances. I didn't wear a mask with this. I'm going to continue to play around in this foundation. I'm going to continue to wear it out. Right now for me, I do like it. I do like it, and honestly, I don't know like if sticking to matte foundation is going to even be the best. I feel like maybe I can switch up my foundations in my routine. I'm so used to matte foundations, but just seeing the way that these natural like medium coverage foundations have been looking on my skin, I'm kind of like really leaning towards that way and starting to fall in love with having that glow or the radiance, and also with the hyaluronic acid in this foundation. That is such a good point. It is a skin care foundation, so I definitely want to play around with this a little bit more. So far so good. If you like a natural medium radiant foundation, this would be it. You can definitely press the powder into it, which is what I would suggest, and it's gonna stay and basically last all day. So yeah, Charlotte, you did your thing. If you are here at the end of this wear test, first of all, thank you, because it is very late and I lived in this foundation just for you. But please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. What do you think about the foundation? What do you think, guys? Honestly, give me your honest opinions down below in my comments. You guys, I live in the city. I live by I'm a city girl. I live close to the Las Vegas Strip. Let's just wait for the sirens. That is city girl life. What can I say? But thank you so much for staying here until the end of the video and watching my full wear test and review. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, you guys. Hang around a while. Watch some other reviews that I have going on, and stay tuned because I'm going to be using this foundation in a lot of videos coming up. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I'll see y'all here in my next video.